Hey, Stu from Tokyo here, live to you from the dungeon. I just want to go over some things today I recently learned with the Skew. We recently had Eli Avisera from Israel here at the in Tokyo for a 2-day demonstration, and he showed us a lot of really cool things, and I like to document some of them before I forget them. One of the things that he showed us that was very interesting, and I've seen it before, but this time around for whatever reason I really seemed to take notice of it, was his very different take on the Skew, on how he sharpens it, and I'm finding it's much easier for me to use it. I have much more confidence and much more control in it. So I'm going to show you how he sharpens it and honing it, and I'll even try to cut some beads with it and do some planing cuts to show you how it works. I want to emphasize that I'm not a teacher. I don't profess to be an expert. I'm an intermediate turner at best. I've only been doing this for a couple of years, and I'm just kind of documenting this so I'll remember, and hopefully it might help somebody else as well. If you see something that I'm doing that's very wrong or incorrect or whatever, please comment down below there on the video where the comment part is on the YouTube page, and give me a shout, because I'm trying to learn things here. I'm not trying to necessarily teach. Okay, we're going to go on, and I'm going to show you how he sharpens them, which is quite different from what I'm used to. Thank you. Okay, here we are at my grinder. My grinder's the inexpensive model you can buy at lots of places, the 8-inch slow-speed grinder, the 1725 RPM. I run a 120 aluminum oxide stone on this side, and on the other side, which you can't see right now, I run an 80 grit. The 80 grit's really only for removing large amounts of material. The 120 is where I do almost all of my sharpening. Okay, so one of the other things Eli stresses when he's doing the sharpening is the stone's got to be flat. I use this diamond dressing stone here. It's made by Lee Valley, or at least Lee Valley sells it. It's fairly inexpensive, and because it's got such a nice wide section here, it's quite easy. Once you get the stone initially flat, it's fairly easy to keep it flat if you dress it fairly often. So I'm going to do that first. And remember, you know, when you're doing this kind of stuff, rocks in the eye hurts. You got to wear your safety glasses. That actually required a bit more flattening than I thought it would. I was doing some other work on here, non-lathe related work, and that's why there's a bit of a hollow in the center. But anyways, the stone is flat now. The important part of sharpening the tool the way that Eli shows how to sharpen it, a couple of points, is one, it's 15 degrees across the top there. And the other one is that you start on the call it the heel, and you work towards the tip. You don't really need this stand here. I just kind of have it there as a place to rest my hand on. So, the important points here are that the tool doesn't overheat, and that you, I just got to move this a little bit here so I have more space. There we go. The tool doesn't overheat, and you have good control. The stone is flat, or you know, fairly flat, I guess. It's flat enough, and you want to just wait till it stops here. You want to start on the heel here, and keeping 2 fingers on top. 2 fingers on top is a steady, but the other thing it does is it lets you know if the tool gets too hot. If the tool gets too hot, of course your finger's going to feel it. You don't want to overheat the tool. Lots of people say, oh, it doesn't matter, it's high-speed steel, blah, blah, blah. But I think that if you overheat the tool all the time, it can help but do some damage to it. So I think you're better off, and you're also going to be wearing off a lot of steel, and you know, it costs money. So for me, it's better off to, you know, go lightly and not overdo it. When you're grinding this, of course you want to have the wheel flat so you can have the tool flat on here. You don't want to be rocking it. And you want to just very gently go from the heel to the tip, and then turn it over, and again keeping your tool at a 15-degree angle so it's level here. You want to go from the heel to the tip. And when you turn it over and look at it, you'll be able to see that the steel that you've just sharpened is a slightly different color than the rest of the body of the steel here. And that's because, of course, this has been exposed to air for quite a long time, and it oxidizes slightly. And whereas the new steel that you just sharpened, you know, it should polish up fairly nicely on the 120 grit wheel. Anyways, I'll just quickly show you how I do this. Also, hold the tool high up on the handle. If you hold low down on the handle, you don't have as much control. You want to hold it higher up on the handle So you start on the heel, and just come lightly forward, just a very light cut. And you can see if you're grinding it flat, and you can see if you're getting a nice consistent grind on it. Now I'm getting good color there, it's basically all the same color. And I can still touch the tool here, so you know it's not getting too hot. I mean, it's getting a little bit warm, but it's not getting too hot. And I'm just going to do that again just a little bit. There, I find a nice, it's getting a nice consistent color all the way across there. Start on the heel, work to the tip. Of course, you do not have to spend very much time at the tip at all because it's very thin and it will grind away very quickly and it will also sharpen very quickly. Now I just changed my stance a little bit here because now I'm going to be working this way instead of this way. So I kind of move where my feet are on the floor and I start again on the heel and work to the tip. Very nice, easy, very, very light touch. Really, that's all there is to it. And of course, the other thing is once you've got the tool, shift my stance again, once you've got the tool sharpened and honed, you don't have to do this very often. A little more on the one side. Looks pretty good. Taking a very, very light cut. I do not know how well that's going to show up on the video. I hope you can see that there's a fairly consistent grind there on that. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of honing. So I'm going to change the camera and the grinder around here so I can show you how I hone it.